The dangers of unforgiveness. Let's talk about it. Did you guys know that not forgiving people can open you up to wicked spirits according to the Bible? There are some major consequences when you don't forgive people their trespasses. And today we're going to talk about those consequences and the dangers of not forgiving people. Today we're going to discuss a parable found in Matthew 18 that was told by Jesus. Then came Peter to him and said, "Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Jesus saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7 times. So in this verse, Peter says, how many times should I forgive my brother for sinning against me? 7 times? And Jesus says, no, not just 7 times, 70 times 7. Basically what he's saying is always forgive. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. So here Jesus is about to give a parable about a king and comparing it to God and what happens when we don't forgive people. Anyway, verse 24, and when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. The servant therefore fell and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Then the Lord of the servant was moved with compassion, and loosed him, and forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out, and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him, and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owest, telling him to pay me what you owe now. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet, and besought him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And he would not, and went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Then his Lord, after that he had called them, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desirest me. Shouldest not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? So this king is saying, I forgave you, didn't I? I forgave your trespasses. So how come you went to one of your servants, which owed you less money than what you owed me? How come you didn't forgive them? How come you didn't have pity on them like I had on you? How come you didn't forgive them? So continuing the verse, and it says, And his Lord was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not everyone his brother their trespass. So to give you the context summary of this parable that Jesus said, in Matthew 18:21 through 35, it answers Peter's question about how many times he should forgive a brother who sins against him. And Jesus tells a parable about the servant of a king. The king forgives the man enormous, unpayable debt. In turn, the servant refuses to forgive that much smaller debt owed him by another, and has that man thrown in prison. The king is furious and asks the servant why he did not show the same mercy he had been given. The king has the man jailed until he pays everything. Jesus says that God the Father will do the same to those who do not forgive their brothers. Just like that ungrateful servant was delivered to the tormentors in jail until his debt was owed, if you do not forgive people, you will also be delivered to the tormentors. And take a wild guess who the tormentors are. They are wicked spirits, demons, whatever you want to call them. In fact, here's a fact that happens when we don't forgive people. The negative effects of unforgiveness. Unforgiveness creates an emotional storm of distress in which feelings of stress, anxiety, depression, insecurity, and fear surfaces. Unforgiveness also creates a hardened heart. The hardened heart feels anger, resentment, bitterness, and hatred toward the offender. So the psychological facts of unforgiveness is it creates negative emotional energy because you can't seem to forgive the person that trespassed against you. And what have we learned on this channel about negative emotional energy? Wicked spirits, demons, feed off negative emotional energy. And when you don't forgive somebody, you create a lot of negative emotional energy. Fear, stress, anger, resentment, and this feeds these wicked spirits. So when God says, if you do not forgive people their trespasses, as I forgave you, I will deliver you to the tormentors. And who are the tormentors? Wicked spirits. But the upside of forgiving people is you don't have negative emotional energy. You are more at peace. You have more joy. You have less stress. And you are actually healthier, believe it or not. When you forgive people, you live longer. You have a lesser chance of getting a heart attack from all the stress and anger and resentment that you have. But yeah, it's crucially important. I mean, I've talked about other gateways and portals that open you up to wicked spirits, but this is an interesting one that a lot of people don't think about. Unforgiveness. When you don't forgive people, you create problems for yourself. You open up yourself to wicked spirits that will harass you and torment you and give you intrusive thoughts and more negative emotions. it is another gateway. Unforgiveness is another gateway. So if you don't want to be delivered to the tormentors, to the wicked spirits, forgive everybody their trespasses. Your mental health and well-being will be a lot better. Your spiritual health will be a lot better. Your relationship with God will be a lot better. So learn to forgive. Always forgive. I really hope you guys enjoy this. And till next time.